Happy Monday, 18th of April, 2016. This is another trade idea number 4 here. This is to short GWW, which is Grainger Inc. It's on the New York Stock Exchange, industrial suppliers, what have you. The first thing that caught my attention was on this 2-hour chart, a jab. Here you see resistance, the ceiling here. And it poked on through, okay, jabbed. Usually what you want to see on a breakout is that it either one, it retests the breakout area, or two, it just continues on running, okay. Usually when you have a sideways pattern, what happens is you get a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. So the first thing that caught my attention on this 2-hour chart is that there was a jab. It poked on through overhead resistance, but it failed and it came back in. Okay, it basically found support down here on this is the pivot line, the solid line here. These are updated pivots for next week of April. So here it came back into the sideways channel, found support on S1, which is a support level, and came back up today to close a little under pivot. Okay, so what I'd be looking for here is that I'd be looking for some sort of failure on Grainger for an aggressive trader to short it. In theory, though, of course, you want it to go in your direction. Like, it's like adding to winners, right? You don't add to losers, you add to winners. That's how that works. Don't make it worse. All right. So what I mentioned here is to set an alarm, okay, for those of you a little more conservative on shorting, which is also a support level. It's basically under today's lows. The stock was down $3, and that would be a short. Now going forward, what I would be looking for, let's take another intraday. This is a 1-minute chart. This is basically a bell curve of the sideways action that we've seen. This is the jab up in here. This is overhead resistance. This would probably be a little more aggressive on triggering a short side around 231. And what happened here also was that as prices went higher, on balance volume came out. So you had people selling into the strength. So in my case, if anything should happen, if the market should open higher tomorrow morning, which is Tuesday, I would aggressively short it up into this area. That's how I work it. If you're willing to buy it from me, if it's easy to get off, then that's what I'd probably be doing. Is I'd be aggressive here as a short, and then add on to your shorts down here when it works for you. This is on a daily chart here. What I pointed out was this is the ADX, and ADX is a trend indicator. It's telling you if something's going to trend or not, and average trading range, which is low. So what basically is happening is that some sort of trend is setting up. It's either going to go higher, it's going to come on through and continue higher with targets of 236 and around 242, or it's going to fail here and come lower, and that will turn the ADX up also. And I put a level down about 212 on the daily for target, so that's roughly about 10%. So you have roughly 5% on the upside and 10% on the downside. So that's how I kind of look at that. Now I went into this weekly here on Grainger, and you can see how the sideways, it came out of it. It's given it one more shot down here. The unbalanced volume is picked up, so you've had a lot of people get into this. On this weekly, it pressed up against R1, which is resistance. I marked down the target on here, which is pivot. And this is a resistance area that I eyeball right now. And is that all of them? Yeah. And once again, this is to short Grainger, GWW. This is for educational use only. Past performance is not indicative to future results. And thank you for once again for purchasing and viewing this trade idea.